Why is there still okay planes? Hello and welcome to Discovering Chi Nei Tsang. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Dr. Jazz, and let's get started on this ancient Chinese medical abdominal massage introductory course. Oftentimes, people suffer from things such as pain in the abdomen, gas or bloating, menstrual cramps, PMS, urination issues. If you feel often anxious or overwhelmed or even stressed out, you might even have some insomnia or other sleep issues, then this massage might be good for you if you answer yes to any of these questions. Why is Chi Nei Tsang important? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Discovering Chi Nei Tsang. My name is Dr. Jazz, and I will be leading you through this course on medical abdominal massage. Let's get started. Do you ever suffer from pain in your abdomen, gas or bloating, menstrual cramps, PMS, urination issues? Maybe you feel anxious, overwhelmed, stressed out. You have sleep or insomnia issues. If you've answered yes to any of these questions, then you're in the right place. This abdominal massage will likely help you relieve some of those symptoms. So why is Chi Nei Tsang important? Well, the first thing is it helps with emotional imbalances. In Chi Nei Tsang, we believe that the organs not only process food, but emotions as well. So oftentimes, if the emotions are out of balance, it's going to show up in the gut and digestion, or vice versa. If the gut is off, then it's often going to manifest in emotions that are present. So that's one of the things that Chi Nei Tsang can be really good for. Another thing is digestive issues. It goes hand in hand. If you are having gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, these digestive issues can sometimes be resolved from the simple massage. It can also promote circulation. So we need circulation to happen not only in our body with our blood, but also through all the cells, through your digestion, through the food that is filtering and the nourishment that is going everywhere. Because if we're not able to circulate all of the energy that's in our body, all of the processes that are happening, then we're going to feel stuck. We're not going to feel good. We're not going to have a good quality of life. So this is a great massage to help promote circulation in the body. And the last thing is that it helps create a relationship with your body. How many people feel disconnected from your body? You don't really know what's going on. We don't even know where the organs are located, right? We live in a culture that really doesn't talk about where our organs are located and this relationship that we need to have with our body in order to have a good quality of life. So Chi Nei Tsang can be very helpful for these four concepts. So just a little overview about what we're going to go over today. We're going to be introducing Chi Nei Tsang, explaining the relationship to the Tao, as this is where it comes from. We're going to examine the navel. We're going to learn some abdominal fascial release techniques and manual massage techniques that aid in peristaltic actions of the digestive process, meaning what helps move the food through your digestion. A little bit about me. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. I grew up in the Midwest. I attended the University of Minnesota Twin Cities for my undergrad. I moved out to San Diego to go to Pacific College of Oriental Medicine, which is now Pacific College of Health Science. And I also now offer acupuncture and massage therapy at my practice here in the Hillcrest Baker Hills area. And I have been a massage body worker since 2005. As you know, I specialize in digestive and emotional health. That's why you're here. And I studied with Master Mantak Chia in Chiang Mai, Thailand. This is his system that I am sharing with you. And I also teach nationally and internationally, different workshops, courses, private classes. I'm a provider for the California Acupuncture Board, the National Acupuncture Board, as well as the National Massage Board for continuing education or PDAs, you have any questions or would like to request any classes or expansion of any of the knowledge that I teach today, please reach out and let me know, and I'd be happy to put that together for you. So what exactly is Chi Nei Tsang? Chi Nei Tsang is an investigation of the causes of sickness. We often look to negative emotions. We can look to daily life stressors like work, accidents, a history of traumas, surgeries. There's drugs, medications, different toxins, whether it's environmental or what we put in our body, could be food, bad posture, right? The list goes on and on. And we try to figure out what is causing these issues and how we can resolve that. So Chi Nei Tsang is also a physical method to clear the blockages in the abdomen. It was developed to transform negative energies that obstruct those internal organs. And it's also a complement to other healing modalities or body work. This is a comprehensive approach to energizing, strengthening, and detoxifying the internal system. So in my acupuncture practice, I like to include a lot of Chi Nei Tsang with my acupuncture sessions. And this way I'm able to integrate both the Chinese medicine and the hands-on body work of the Chi Nei Tsang into what I provide as a service for my patients, because it's all interconnected. The emotions are such a huge part of what happens in our body, and Chi Nei Tsang is a great bridge to bring the connection between the emotions and the body of the patient. So what are the benefits of Chi Nei Tsang? Well, it's part of the universal healing Tao system. There's a part of what Master Montauk Chia teaches. I'm sure there's other versions of it as well, but excuse me, included in this are meditations, there's visualizations to help with the chi flow, to energize and cleanse the organs, and to benefit both the practitioner or the patient, or if you're doing it on yourself for self-care. And the knowledge that you're going to receive to apply these techniques are not only helping you be able to generate and direct flow of chi, but you are prioritizing your own health by practicing this on yourself and others, and perhaps receiving as well from someone else. This is also how to help educate others to heal themselves. By learning these techniques, you're going to be responsible for your own health and wellness. And then this is something that you can share with other people as well, teaching others about their bodies and the energetics that are happening within them. Science is starting to catch up with all of these concepts that the Taoists have known about for thousands of years. It's also in Chinese medicine, shows up in Ayurvedic medicine, right? So all over the world, a lot of these ancient cultures have been practicing different types of ways to connect to the body, and this is just one of those ways. Let's talk about the origins of Chi Nei Tsang. It's an ancient Taoist practice that's been around for thousands of years. The Taoist monks were up in their monasteries, up in the mountains, meditating all day long, eating mostly vegetarian diets, and eventually they realized they still had digestive issues. So they started pushing on each other's bellies to try and figure out what was going on, and came up with this massage. And so it's been kept secret in those Taoist monasteries for thousands of years until recently. There's a man by the name of Master Montauk Chia, and he is part of the White Cloud Monastery. His teacher was part of that, which is now closed down. I believe it does not exist anymore. And his teacher said to him, it's time to start teaching this to the public. So in the 1980s, he moved to New York City and he started teaching this massage from his apartment, and eventually gathered a group of people and went back to Chiang Mai, Thailand, where he started a place called Dao Garden. If you haven't looked it up, Google it. It's an awesome place. And in Dao Garden, that's where he has it's a 3-star, or excuse me, it's a 4-star resort slash wellness center slash educational place where people can go. You can learn these different techniques, or you can just go there for the healing, and you can be part of the Chi Nei Tsang culture, the healing Tao system. You can train with Master Montauk Chia. I believe with the pandemic, he's been doing a lot of stuff online. So there's a lot more accessibility to his resources if you check out his website now. And so Chi Nei Tsang also comes from the Tao, which means the way of nature, the way without force. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. So let's break everything down and take a look at what Chi Nei Tsang literally means. So you may see Chi spelled different ways with the CHI or the QI. It all means the same thing. It just depends on the translator and how they used the pinyin to explain it, how they phonetically spelled it when they heard the words. So it just means the same thing. Even if you see different spelling, you'll see a couple more instances of this as well. But Chi Nei Tsang literally translates to internal organ chi transformation. So that's what we're doing. We're transforming the organs, the internal organs, by using the chi of our bodies. So taking a step back, let's just look at the big picture here. So traditional Chinese medicine is the umbrella term. We have both internal and external medicine. The external medicine is maybe what you're more familiar with: the acupuncture, the cupping, the tuina, the gua sha. We have herbal liniments, plasters, poultices that we can put on top of our bodies. And then there's also moxibustion, which is an herb that we burn. Internal medicine is the herbal medicine that we take, such as the roots, their stems, twigs, mushrooms, leaves, seeds, berries, nuts, flowers, and insects. And we also use food as medicine. So really common question that I ask my patients and the concept I share with them is to use food as medicine. If you look down at your plate and you cannot answer the question, is this medicine? Then maybe you shouldn't be putting it in your body. So just something to think about. And we also look at Qigong in a similar way. There's both internal Qigong and external Qigong. The external Qigong is more of the martial arts, the movements that we do. The internal are more the meditations. So Chi Nei Tsang is kind of a mix of both. While we're applying physical manual therapy to the abdomen, it's also an internal medicine that we are doing with the Qigong as well. We're going to do breathing and visualizations, and you'll see how that all kind of bridges together. The internal medicine is also known as, you may hear about if you read around on the internet, internal alchemy. So the idea is that we can create a transformation. That idea of alchemy is changing metals, one metal into another, is where they were always trying to find a way to make gold by blending all these different metals together. And so we're kind of doing that with the chi and the energy of our body. So that's a term you might find out there. So again, chi means energy. It's a very loose translation and isn't actually very accurate, but it's the closest thing our Western mind can conceptualize, is this idea of energy. And so that's what chi is. And gong means work. It's some kind of dedicated practice that you are doing to master. Again, here's some other spellings. You may see it as Qigong with the CHI. Qigong is often Japanese. Qigong is another spelling. So just be mindful that there may be different spellings, but again, they all mean the same thing. So let's talk more about what is chi. We are programming the body. So chi is everywhere. It's in everything. It has many shapes and forms, very much like water, right? Water can be a liquid, a solid, or a gas. And that's what chi can do. It can transform into different systems. It can flow in different ways. It can have different textures and densities. And that's what we can play around with our body. That's what acupuncturists are do. We're programming the chi of the body with the needles that we use. And so chi is very versatile. And every action programs the chi. Every non-action affects the chi of our bodies as well. And so with that idea, we can create change in our bodies by what we put into it and what we do with it. Remember, I was talking about the food. We are literally programming our bodies with the foods that we eat. So think about your food as a program for your body. It's a fuel for your body. Do you want your body to function properly? Then it needs the proper fuel. So another analogy is to think about chi as neutral. And when we set our intention, it will follow the instructions we give it. So the analogy I like to give is a computer, right? In order for you to be watching this video, somebody had to create a computer, make a screen, be able to show you the presentation. get the webcam to connect. How did that all happen? By the lines of code that were written by somebody. So that's how I think of Chi is we can write the lines of code with the thoughts that we have, the actions that we take, with the foods that we eat. That's all the lines of code that we are writing to make our bodies function in a certain way. Just like those lines of code made the computer and the webcam and the presentation all function a certain way so you can receive this information. So we're programming the Chi. So once again, here are some of the concepts of the Qigong. We have the medical Qigong, where these practices are used to heal specific parts of the body. The martial Qigong is the forms of fighting, the art of self-discipline, and self-defense. And then we also have the spiritual Qigong. This is a Qigong that can be used to connect to yourself, connect to nature and the Tao. So we are here because of the same idea that I've been talking about the last few minutes, where the mind goes, Chi flows. It's a great phrase to remember that we are programming the body using Qigong. So where your mind goes, the Chi will flow. We're going to talk about why that's important coming up. So why would we do Chi Nei Tsang? Well, because the organs not only process food, but they process emotions as well. And this is involved with the organs, the Chi, and the meridians. And so when we're doing this massage, we're addressing not only the physical aspects of the body, perhaps a physical discomfort you might be feeling, but the emotional ones as well. So this is really amazing. We are starting to see more of the Western concepts come out that are talking about the gut and the brain and the connection, right? So we have neurons in the abdomen that connect to the brain. I'll talk about that in the next slide. So they have discovered that these neurons are creating a connection to the gut, and the bacteria of the gut has an effect on the brain as well. And so the Taoists have this concept that's been around for thousands of years called the Dantian. So your Dantian, we'll see some pictures in a little bit, is an inch below the navel and an inch inward, right in the middle of the gut. And so there's an idea called the Dantian mind, where you bring your mind into the Dantian. That's how we end all of the meditations, all of the Qigong, end by bringing your awareness to the Dantian. Why? Because this is where the gut is, where our second brain exists. In the next few slides, I'm going to dive into that. This is a great book that I think would also be helpful if you're looking for more information on this idea. So the existence of these neurons enable the second brain to learn. This is amazing. Our gut is learning. 100 billion neurons in the enteric plexuses, extending the entire length of the GI tract, the gastrointestinal GI tract, gastro tract, which orchestrate digestion, monitoring visceral sensations. So your colon is loaded with the neurons that can load. And these Taoist practices teach the organs to learn and to remember. And while this enteric system operates independently of, it is connected to the central nervous system. That was probably a lot of ideas and words that you couldn't understand, but let's look at some pictures. So the second brain, the scientists have discovered that there is a new organ called the mesentery, or what's called the second brain of the digestive tract or the digestive system. This discovery is that this discovery of the body's 79th organ is pretty recent, and so much so that the famous Gray's Anatomy textbook was updated because of this. The mesentery connects the walls of the intestine to the abdominal wall. and the membrane lining in the abdominal cavity. This attaches to the stomach, small intestine, pancreas, spleen, and other organs, all to the abdominal wall. What does that really mean? Let's take a look. So I love these pictures. Look at the one on the right-hand side. Do you see this is all the mesentery, and where these back and forth layers are here, that's connected to the small intestine. And you see how it pulls back and gathers back into the spine? We can also see that in the middle picture right here. See how it's connected to the large intestine and it's kind of folded in there? Well, when we look at a side view of the body, these bright yellow spots, that's the mesentery. And do you see where it connects? All along the spine here. All of that gathers in and attaches along the spine at the lumbar area of the body. So this is the dantian. Remember we were talking about that? So this is considered your center, your core, your battery pack. So that's a concept that the Taoists use, that our dantian is our battery pack. This is where we store the chi. This is where we can energize our bodies. This is where we can process our emotions. And notice where it's located. So we have the navel, which we're going to talk a lot about in a little bit, and it's directly across from what is called the Ming Men. That is from the previous picture, right here along the spine where the mesentery connects. So the brain connects to the spine at the Ming Men, or what is translated as the door of life. And so this goes up the spine and connects to that central nervous system. But I want you to take a look at the dantian. It's an inch below the navel and an inch inward. And this is where we're going to bring our mind and awareness. And we're also going to massage it. And just one more note, down at the bottom, you can see all the different spellings of the dantian. All means the same thing, just spelled by different people, different ways. Here's another great picture. We can see the lower dantian. There's a couple dantians in the body. See how it's connected, and there is the door of life. Once again, showing how it's connected. And then this picture on the right-hand side. So this is a bit of an overlap between what we call the microcosmic orbit, which is one of the channels that goes up the back of the body and down the front of the body. And there are points along the microcosmic orbit, both the front and the back channels, and they are opposite of each other. So you can see that they go through the body. So these acupuncture points follow along the channels and connect everything to the central channel, right? Which you see goes between the brain and the gut as well. And you might notice that they kind of overlap maybe with some of the chakras. So that is an East Indian concept in Ayurvedic medicine, yoga practices. You've probably talked about it too, but there is a lot of connection between both East Indian healing concepts as well as Taoist and Chinese concepts. So once again, this is all about that gut-brain connection. So we can see that the brain has influences on the motility, meaning the movement, what's happening in the gut, the secretion of different enzymes and hormones, nutrition delivery, the balance of the microbiome, right? And then the gut can also influence what's going on in the brain, the neurotransmitters, what happens to your stress and anxiety. Your gut can affect your mood and your behavior, right? So it's so interesting how it connects. So what we're really talking about here in general is the mesenteries. And this is important because we are going to be massaging on the abdomen, which means we are going to be impacting the mesenteries. So this is between two layers that you are going to find the arteries, right, which connect the blood vessels of the gut to the mesentery, which then connects to the central nervous system. We have the nerves that are in the mesentery. We have veins, which is the return flow of the blood. We have the lymphatic system, as well as the different ducts for drainage as well. So you can see there is a lot happening in this 79th organ of the body. Now we're going to look into the TCM, or traditional Chinese medicine, concepts of how the organs store emotions. So this is called the 5-element cycle. Right now we're just looking at the organs, but we'll see some other pictures coming up. So the heart can impact the spleen and the stomach. The spleen and stomach can affect the lungs can affect the kidneys, and the kidneys can affect the liver and gallbladder, right? So they should be supporting and helping each other, but sometimes they can overact on each other as well. But each of the organs have different emotions that are related to each of them. And I'm going to get into more details with that coming up. So one of the ways that we lose most of our energy in our body is through emotional expenditures. So I want you to think about your emotional state of being as like real estate. What is taking up your emotional real estate? Meaning, are you still trying to justify in a conversation that you had weeks ago? Are you still winning a fight with someone in your head because you wish you would have said something else? Think about how negative emotions or events take up that emotional real estate and take away your energy from enjoying your daily life. So by dealing with these emotions, it can be one of the most depleting things that we experience. Not only justifying those conversations you wish you would have had that right thing to say at the right time, but then that can lead to negative self-talk. It can also be revealing that you have toxic people in your lives, whether it's home, school, work. It can be stressful to be around those people. If it's family, friends, coworkers, can you change those situations? Can you get rid of those situations or people in your life? It's not always easy to do. And the emotional energy is part of our life force energy. So if we don't get that under control, then it's just going to deplete us, and then it's going to decrease our quality in life. So then what do we do about it, Dr. Jazz? How do we dispose of this negative energy so we can be healthy? Well, let's talk about it. Well, we can first replenish our chi. I love this picture from, I don't know, the 1970s. So we can maintain our chi by making good decisions about what we nourish our body with. We can breathe in good, clean air. We can eat healthy, organic, clean food. And we can also use energy from the world around us, from the elements that we have access to, and we can bring that into our body and heal. Here's some other ways to replenish our chi. Remember, where the mind goes, chi flows. We can, number one, use nutrition. We can also use herbs. Those are two big things that you can do to help nourish and replenish your chi. Acupuncture and massage can help. Exercise, of course, Tai Chi, meditation, Qigong, cleaning up your thoughts, and managing your emotions. So here are some of the basic ways, just an overview. We're not going to go over all of these today, but just so you kind of see some of these Taoist practices and what they're about, is we can develop a healthy body by using these first levels of practice. What we want to do is condense and conserve our life force energy through these practices. Today, we will be going over the inner smile in 6 healing sounds, and this teaches us how to transform those negative emotions into positive vitality. Some of the other levels are the microcosmic orbit. I showed you that picture before, where we bring the energy up the back of the body and down the front, and we are creating a conservation and a refinement of that energy, which we then store in the Dantian. There's something called iron shirt qigong, where we can align our skeletal structure so qi can flow the most smooth and optimal way through our body. Think about it. If you're sitting in a chair right now, are you leaning? What is your posture right now? Is it blocking the optimal qi flow through your body? So this is one of the practices you can do to align your chi by aligning your skeletal structure. And then healing love, or what else is called the sexual qigong. And this is how we recycle that sexual energy. We cultivate it and collect it and bring that sexual energy that our body is making to heal our bodies and circulate through as a way to energize ourselves. So these are another version of the pictures that we saw earlier. So we have the positive creation cycle where all of the organs are supporting each other, all of the elements support each other. Excuse me. And then we have the negative emotions cycle where they overact on each other, right? They can overact across and get in each other's ways and just cause a lot of different issues. And I'll let you look at this on your own so you can see all the details of how this can manifest in the body. And now we are transforming these negative emotions into positive vitality. So the inner smile meditation. So this is one of the basic meditations that we can do to help bring our emotions into balance. If you see on the bottom left-hand corner, this is something you can find online, a recording of this meditation. So let's go through each of the emotions and the elements and the organs. Oh, okay. So we begin with something called the inner smile meditation. I do have a recording of this up online if you'd like to do just an audio of this class of the inner smile meditation. But here is a great look at each of the elements and the organs, their colors, and their emotions related to each of them. So let's talk through them. So the first one is fire. This is related to the heart. So now let's talk about the inner smile meditation. So this meditation is about creating the transformation of the negative emotions into positive vitality. This takes that 5-element chart that we were looking at and breaks it down so we can kind of see all of the different emotions related to each of the organs. So let's talk about those now. So the heart is a fire element. The color is red. The animal is the red pheasant. The positive emotions are love, joy, and compassion. And the negative emotions are hatred and cruelty. The next is the stomach, spleen, and pancreas. It is related to the earth element. The color is golden. The animal is a golden phoenix. Positive emotions are openness, fairness, and trust. And the negative emotions are worry and anxiety. Next is the lungs and the large intestine. The element is metal. The color is white silver. The animal is a white tiger. The positive emotions are courage and righteousness. And the negative emotions are sadness, depression, and grief. The kidneys are related to the element of water, the color blue, the blue tortoise. Positive emotions are gentleness, peace, and calm, and the negative emotion is fear or fright. Actually, I want to do that again. And now let's talk about the inner smile meditation. So before we start working on our bellies, we want to make sure that we are coming from a place of positivity. It's easier to be able to navigate your emotions when you've cleared out maybe things that are kind of around the surface right now. This is a great meditation to do when you're going to sleep at night or if you're in a frustrating situation. So we're going to break it down and then I'm going to lead you through the meditation. And on the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that I have an online version of this meditation that you can download and listen to there. So we start by looking at this chart. This is a 5-element chart where we saw all the organs, the creation cycle leading into each other. And this is just a breakdown of that. So each organ has an organ pair, and I don't have all the pairs on here, but you'll get the idea. They each have an element, they each have an animal, and they each have a color that's related to each of them. So the heart is related to the small intestine. Positive emotions are love, joy, and compassion, and the negative emotions are hatred and cruelty. So, oftentimes, if we have heart centered decisions to make, that shows up in the small intestine. And so, we can start to make that connection between that hatred and cruelty. It could be toward yourself or toward others. Or I think even receiving that hatred or cruelty can affect those two organs as well. Next, we have the stomach, spleen, and pancreas. The positive emotions are openness, fairness, and trust, and the negative emotions are worry and anxiety. So think about when you feel worried or you have butterflies in your stomach, that's what's happening here, and that's impacting the stomach, spleen, and pancreas. I also like to talk to my patients about how the stomach and spleen open to the mouth, meaning we have to be open to receive from the foods that we're eating. It has to be fair. Our stomach and spleen has to trust that what we put in the body is fair to digest. So if that's not happening, then sometimes that can show up as an issue happening with eating and receiving nourishment. Next, we have the lungs. They are paired with the large intestine. The positive emotions are courage and righteousness, and the negative emotions are sadness, depression, and grief. So, courage and righteousness, I think about being able to speak your truth, stand by your morals and convictions. But I like to add on also being heard. So if you can speak all you want, you can say all the things you need to say, but if you're not heard, then that can really be depleting for these organs. So also think about the lungs. If someone's depressed or feeling grief, what happens? The shoulders rolled forward, the head comes down to protect the lungs, and the voice can get very soft, right? Those are indications that the lungs are compromised in some way. And sometimes these emotions can be what creates that. Next, we have the kidneys are related to the bladder. Positive emotions are gentleness, peace, and calm. And the negative emotion is fear. So think about a little kid who gets scared. What do? Sometimes they'll pee themselves. That's because that emotion has overtaken the function of these organs. So they're not able to contain their urine and they wet themselves. And that's what fear can do. Next, we have the liver paired with the gallbladder that you can see in there as well. And the positive emotions are kindness, generosity, and forgiveness. And the negative emotions are anger, frustration, and resentment. And the example that I like to give for the liver and gallbladder is think about how we know for a fact that if someone drinks too much alcohol, it can damage the liver, right? People can die from that. And so when that organ is compromised, it often is the one that has one of the biggest noticeable manifestations emotionally. So think about that anger, those outbursts, that frustration. Think about all the angry drunks out there, all the violence that happens in relation to alcoholism, right? That's because that organ is so out of balance that it's now showing up and manifesting as those negative emotions. And lastly, we have, which is actually the Sanjiao and the PC. It's a little too detailed to get it in with you right now. Excuse me. But these emotions are, or excuse me, these organs are about balancing. And so we're actually going to do a sound with these. And the sound of these is who, or excuse me, he. I hope to edit this out. So these two organs are about venting, cleaning out, and neutralizing what might be going on in the body. So now let's talk about the inner smile and why we smile to our bodies. We're going to specifically smile to our organs. Why? Because this change, This can create a change that's physiological and hormonal as well. And then we're going to use the 6 healing sounds. This is because by using breath and these sounding techniques, the Taoists discovered the resonance with the organs can create healing in our bodies. Let's talk about why we smile and why this is important. Smiling can warm our hearts, calm our minds, make us more healthy or receptive to healthy thoughts. And frowns can actually suppress our immune system. They can increase those stress hormones. And there's a lot of research out there that talks about how by smiling, we release neurotransmitters of our body, the dopamines, the serotonins, the endorphins, just from someone smiling. We smile at ourselves, we can release those positive hormones. Then you don't need medication. Then you don't need to do all these other things. It's simple smiling to your body, to your organs, to other people in your life. It can create change in a lot of different places. So we talked about that, and then it can activate the endorphins like I talked about and the immune system enhancing T cells, right? So these are the cells that go and clean things up that are kind of will go around and help keep your immune system top notch. So just by smiling, we can boost our immune system as well. It lowers the stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. We can stabilize the blood pressure. We can relax muscles, improve your breathing, decrease pain, accelerate healing, and change your mood. So I challenge you, next time you are in a bad mood or you think about what your face is right now, I always ask people at this point, do you have a resting bitch face right now as you're watching this video? And what happens if you smile? Does that change things? So the next time you're in a really uncomfortable situation, just start smiling. Or if you're in a bad mood, see if you can turn things around just by smiling. It's pretty amazing how impactful it can be. So now let's do the meditation, the inner smile and the 6 healing sounds. So I'm going to lead you through this. So you're just going to sit back, close your eyes and relax. I'll talk you through the whole thing. And we're going to add these sounds to each of the organs as well. And then just going back to the Dantian picture, when we're finished, we are going to bring our mind and awareness back to the Dantian at the center of our bodies. All right, so let's have you get comfortable in your chair. If you want to sit back, make sure you're leaning. Ideally, your feet are flat on the floor. And I'm going to have you close your eyes. And just bring your awareness to your body. And just notice how you feel in this moment. Do you have any aches or pains, areas of pleasure, comfort, discomfort? And just notice how you feel. And in a moment, we're going to go through each of the organs. And we're going to inhale the positive emotions. And you're going to see them fill the organs that they are associated with. And then you're going to exhale the negative emotions and you're going to visualize a dark gray, cloudy smoke leaving out through your nose and mouth. And you're going to send it down into the earth and out of your body. And as you are exhaling, you are going to use the sound that is associated with each of the organs. As you exhale, that dark gray cloudy smoke. And I will say and guide you through each of those portions of this meditation. But let's begin with a smile. So bring a smile to your face. So let's bring our awareness up to our third eye, to our mid eyebrow point. And using your mind's eye, you're going to turn inward and downward to look at your beautiful red heart and small intestine. Connect to your heart and small intestine, smile to these organs. And now we're going to visualize a red mist forming in front of our faces. And in that red mist, we find love, joy, and compassion. Go ahead and inhale love, joy, and compassion. See it fill the heart and small intestine, and exhale using the sound ah. And as you exhale, you're going to visualize a dark gray, cloudy smoke, and you're going to send it down into the earth and out of your body of those negative emotions of hatred and cruelty. Again, inhale that red mist of love, joy, and compassion. See it fill the heart and small intestine, and exhale hatred and cruelty in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Again, inhale that red mist of love, joy, and compassion. See it fill the heart and small intestine, and exhale hatred and cruelty in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Good. And breathing on your own, smile to your heart and small intestine as you see them glowing redder and brighter. Feel love, joy, and compassion radiate out to affect every cell of your body. What does it feel like to no longer have hatred or cruelty inside of you? And once again, bringing your awareness up to your third eye, to that mid eyebrow point. Turn that third eye inward and downward as we smile, this time to the left side of the body, to the stomach, spleen, and pancreas. They're a golden color. Let's visualize a golden mist forming in front of our faces. And in that mist, we find openness, fairness, and trust. Go ahead and inhale openness, fairness, and trust in that golden mist. See it fill the stomach, spleen, and pancreas, and exhale using the sound worry and anxiety in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Smile once again as you inhale that golden mist of openness, fairness, and trust. So you fill the stomach, spleen, and pancreas, and exhale worry and anxiety in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Again, inhale that golden mist of openness, fairness, and trust. See it fill the stomach, spleen, and pancreas, and exhale worry and anxiety in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Good. And breathing on your own. Smile to the stomach, spleen, and pancreas as you see that golden color shining brighter. Feel that openness, fairness, and trust radiate out to affect every cell of your body. What does it feel like to no longer have worry or anxiety inside of you? And once again, bring your awareness back up to that third eye, to that mid eyebrow point, and turn that third eye inward and downward, this time to view your lungs and your large intestine. The color is a white, silvery color, and it is a mist forming in front of our faces. And in that mist, we find courage and righteousness. Go ahead and inhale courage and righteousness. See it fill the lungs and large intestine, and exhale using the sound sadness, depression, and grief in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Again, inhale that white silvery mist of courage and righteousness. See it fill the lungs and large intestine, and exhale sadness, depression, and grief in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Good. Once again, inhale courage and righteousness and that white silvery mist. See it fill the lungs and large intestine, and exhale sadness, depression, and grief in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Good. And breathing on your own, smile to your lungs and large intestine as you see them glowing, that white silvery color, brighter. See the courage and righteousness radiate out to affect every cell of your body. What does it feel like to no longer have sadness, depression, or grief inside of you? Good. And bring your awareness once again up to that third eye, to that mid eyebrow point. Smile to this point as we turn that third eye inward and downward, this time to see our bladder and our kidneys. Smile to the kidneys and bladder. They're associated with the color blue, the positive emotions, gentleness, peace, and calm. Let's begin by visualizing a blue mist forming in front of our faces. And in that blue mist, we find gentleness, peace, and calm. Go ahead and inhale the blue mist of gentleness, peace, and calm. See it fill the kidneys and bladder, and we're going to exhale using the sound fear in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Once again, inhale gentleness, peace, and calm. See it fill the kidneys and bladder, and exhale fear in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Good. And one last time, inhale that blue mist of gentleness, peace, and calm. See it fill the kidneys and bladder, and exhale fear in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Good. Breathing on your own. Smile to your kidneys and bladder as you see them glowing bluer and brighter. Feel that gentleness, peace, and calm radiate out to affect every cell of your body. What does it feel like to no longer have fear inside of you? Good. And once again, bring that awareness up to that third eye, to that mid eyebrow point. And turn that third eye inward and downward, this time to view the right side of your body, which is your liver and gallbladder. Color is an emerald green. Positive emotions are kindness, generosity, and forgiveness. Go ahead and inhale kindness, generosity, and forgiveness in that green mist. See it fill the liver and gallbladder, and we're going to exhale anger, frustration, and resentment in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Again, inhale that emerald green mist of kindness, generosity, and forgiveness. See it fill the liver and gallbladder, and exhale anger, frustration, and resentment in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. One more time, inhale kindness, generosity, and forgiveness. See it fill the liver and gallbladder, and exhale anger, frustration, and resentment in a dark gray cloudy smoke that you send down into the earth and out of your body. Good. And breathing on your own, smile to the liver and gallbladder as you see them glowing greener and brighter. Feel that kindness, generosity, and forgiveness radiate out to affect every cell of your body. What does it feel like to no longer have anger, frustration, or resentment inside of you? Good. I'm going to bring your awareness back to that mid eyebrow, third eye point. And now we're going to do the San Jiao and triple warmer, and we're actually going to take action. So we're going to take our hands and you're going to put your palms on your thighs with the palms facing your chin. And we're going to sweep the hands up the body as we inhale. Bring them up over your head, and you're going to form what we call a chi ball. And you're going to set an intention of this chi ball of whatever it is that you need for this day. Do you need more energy? Would you like more money? Do you want to have better relationships? Just set your intention in that chi ball. And then we're going to exhale by bringing the hands down over the head. And you're going to exhale using the sound he to vent and clean out and neutralize any remaining negative energy. The hands are going to come down to your sides to release. And you're going to visualize a dark gray cloudy smoke leaving out through the bottoms of the feet and the palms of the hands. We'll do that 2 more times. Palms, starting with the palms on the thighs, palms facing the chin. Inhale, bringing it and your awareness up to the chi ball, forming on top of your head, and exhale. Here to push in the positive intentions, and exhale. Here, pushing out any remaining negative energy out through the bottoms of the feet and the palms of the hands. Good. One more time, starting with the hands on the thighs, palms facing the chin. Inhale. Forming a chi ball over your head, setting your intention for whatever it is that you need for this day. Exhale, he, as you push that chi ball into your head, sweeping the hands down your body. He, pushing out any remaining negative energy to the bottoms of the feet and the palms of the hands. Good. And now we're going to bring one hand over the navel on top of each other, on top of your navel. And we're just going to take a moment to rest here in what the Taoists call Wu Chi. It's very similar to Savasana in yoga. It's a place where we just rest and let the meditation do its work. Again, this is called Wu Chi. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, nowhere to be, but right here. And bringing your awareness back to your body, back to the room. You have to let your eyes open and just take a moment to notice, how do you feel in your body? We're going to be doing an abdominal massage in a few minutes with your hands over your belly. Do you feel that you have created a different relationship with your organs, with your belly, with your emotions? And just take a moment to notice any difference that you feel now than when we first began the meditation. And if you'd like to take a break right now, please do so. But let's move on. So let me ask you this. Why do you think that we did this meditation? How does it relate to what's going on in our abdomen? We are more effective at healing ourselves if we balance our chi first. If we process our emotions, they're not going to get in the way of our healing. So this is a great meditation to do before we get to the belly. We took a little longer today, and once you get familiar with it, you can do it a lot quicker. But it's a great meditation to do, once again, if you're in difficult situations, right before bed, if you're struggling with some emotions that are going on, and if you can do it before you do your abdominal massage, it's going to make a difference for how you heal. So now let's get into it. This is why we're all here, right? We're going to do some Chi Nei Tsang techniques. So this is a very brief protocol for Chi Nei Tsang. Okay, so this is an introductory course. I do have some upcoming certification courses that maybe at the time of this recording, you'll see that they're now available. So what I'm teaching you is application to your own body, and you can share some of these with other people. You'll see some videos, but you always want to, as a disclaimer, talk to your primary care physician before applying these techniques, especially if you've had some kind of surgery or some serious trauma or accident. You want to make sure that this is appropriate for you. So we are going to be examining the navel. We're going to look at the different directions of the pulls of the body. So this is a much better picture where we get to look at each of the pulls of the navel, tell us which organ is out of balance. So the first thing that we do is we're going to take a look at our belly. Look at all these different belly buttons, all the different shapes, and what they might be indicating. I'm going to be doing a separate course specifically on examining the navel. So if you want to do a deep dive into navel reading, that will be another course that I will be offering as well on my website. So you can see here that different navels indicate different things that are going on. So we need to look at our belly. So we're going to prepare. So find a comfortable place. You're going to lift your shirt to your rib cage. You're going to bring your pants to your hip bone so you have access to your full belly. And so what you want to do to examine your navel is either have a mirror to be able to look at your own navel, or you can use a camera on your phone, or you can take a picture of your navel, and then you can examine your own navel that way as well. So here are some more details about which direction is pulling. In the picture at the left, you can actually see the organs and where the pulls of the navel are leading to. And on the right-hand side, you can see this is a more detailed view of how it shows up in the gut, right? So upward, that can be problems with the intestine, menstruation, constipation, even the prostate. We can have heartburn, right? Thinking about going up, insomnia, coughing, right? If the navel is pulling up that direction. To the upper left, it could affect the opposite hip or the leg, and or what's going on in the stomach spleen more specifically, could cause digestive issues. If it pulls straight across to the left, right, this may affect the left side of the kidneys and the intestines. If it pulls down to your left hip, this can create tension in the pain of the upper right side of the navel, the opposite side, right? It may cause problems with the duodenum or the gallbladder, even the kidney, and then it can create pain in your low back or even your left leg. If it's pulling straight down, it could be intestinal pain, right? Mental health issues. So think that's the opposite of the head is pulling downward. Bad dreams can be an issue, right? Menstrual, PMS symptoms. Also the bladder or the prostate could be affected. If the pull is going to the right, this can be tension in the opposite side of like the rib cage, even the shoulder. We can find stuff in the spleen, in the stomach, or the kidney, and it might even give pain, or you might even find that there's pain in the lumbar or the low back or the right leg. If it's pulling directly to the right, this can affect the kidney or the intestines. The upper right could affect the liver, gallbladder, or the opposite hip, opposite leg, and the intestines, right? So it's kind of an overview of what the pulls can do. So on your own, go ahead and take a picture, look in a mirror, look at this chart, and start to see where the pulls are in your navel and see if this aligns with what you are feeling in your body. So there are meridians, or we call them channels, that follow along the body. I know it's a crappy picture on the left-hand side, but this is kind of an overview of all the points overlapping. This one on the right-hand side, right, you can kind of see it's a clearer picture of the lines that we're going to be massaging today. Not every single point, but as long as we follow along the lines, you'll be able to kind of get the gist of it and help clear out some of those channels by doing the massage technique. So here are 3 of the first Chi Nei Tsang techniques that I'm sharing with you. So we did looking at the direction of the pull. That's number 1. The other thing is you want to feel the temperature above the belly and off the belly. So meaning you're going to have your hands not touch the belly and you're going to feel for temperature. Is there cold coming off of it? Is there heat coming off of it? Does it feel damp or sticky? And I know those seem like strange concepts if you're new to this, but we can sense those things with the proprioceptions on our fingers, right? We're going to have eyeballs on the tips of our fingers. And we're doing this to be able to understand what is happening in our belly by reading it through our hands. And the other thing is, if you're working on someone else and sharing these techniques, is to inquire about anything you might be noticing on the navel, right? Do they have scars? Are there moles, discoloration, rashes, right? All of those things can indicate that there might be something going on in the belly, and you want to ask and make sure that you are aware of what's happening. So we're going to work first from the top layers down. The abdominal fascial release is also known as a skin detoxification. And I love this picture because it shows, look at how many layers from the top skin of the abdomen, 9 layers into where the actual organs are. So we need to loosen all these layers up before we can start to work on the organs. The first couple techniques that I'm going to teach you are going to help work on softening that fascial tissue, right? So some people might feel their belly and it feels soft and squishy. Others, it might feel tight like a drum skin, right? So we need to loosen these fascial tissues or these planes of the body. They're protective, and they might be impeding what's going on or the proper function of the organs of the body. So it's good to loosen them up. So talk about these fascial protective layers of chi. So they protect every organ and they need to be moist. That's why it's so important to drink water. So you need that moisture, that lubrication, to be able to have that free flow of energy, right? It's not stagnant in your belly. Things are constantly moving around. We're constantly putting food in, it's processing, and then it needs to be eliminated. So there needs to be a flow and there needs to be that ability for it to move, right? And we can do that with drinking enough water. There's varying thicknesses and strength of the fascial tissue, and it's found in all regions of the body, some more delicate than others. So the deep and superficial fascia hold our skin, muscles, and bones in a system together that are a shield of protection and lubrication. So let's talk about the first couple techniques here. The first one is clockwise circles. We're going to talk about cat paws and skin rolling. These are also great because they can also be used as techniques of transition. So if your belly's too tender, this is a really nice way to move things, right? So these are a little bit lighter. Some people don't get past this. Some people, this is as much as they can do for their belly. Excuse me. So even though we might be moving on and through this class, if you feel like cat paws is enough for you, don't force yourself to do something that's uncomfortable, okay? So as we go through the layers, you're going to feel different sensations and you want to make sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard, right? This is something you want to feel that is going to benefit you, not something that's going to hurt you even more. So the first one is clockwise circles. Open your palms, gentle circles in the direction of digestion. And this is what it looks like. So just an open palm. I don't have any lotion here, but you can see that that's it. You're just massaging in a circle in the direction of digestion. And if you get confused with which way, make an L with your finger. That is a direction. You want to visualize a clock on your belly. And that L with your finger is going to help you know which way is down, because that is where the large intestine exits the fecal matter exits the body through the large intestine. So you can do this between techniques as gentle circles. This is a great thing. If there's anything you walk away from this class today is just doing gentle circles on your belly every day. Do it before bed, do it when you wake up. All of the nerve, not all of the nerves, some of the nerves come to the surface of the skin and we can stimulate digestion simply by doing the gentle circle massage. This is what it looks like on a patient. I was doing this on a colleague of mine. So if you do choose to do this on another person, here's a little look at what that looks like on someone else's belly. I do have lotion in this one, so my hands move a little bit smoother. You can do hand over hand as well. That's another way to kind of show you at the end here. Right, see, so I put my hand on top of hand, and sometimes I can play around with the pressure as well. Use lotion or coconut oil is what I recommend. That's a really nice one. It increases metabolism, it also moistens, and it's a nice oil that can help with digestion as well. Now we're going to talk about cat paws. This is like kneading the belly. We're going to be using our hands either side by side, hand over hand, finger or wrist wave. We'll show this in a minute. So you can do this on yourself. Heel, fingertips, heel, right? So it's basically like a cat kneading itself. It looks more like the cat kneading on when you're working on another person, but this is how you can do for yourself. So again, this detoxifies the skin. It helps you assess congested, tight, tender, or sore areas. It circulates the lymphatic system, or you can do hand over hand. We were looking at this earlier. So this is what cat paws looks like on another person. So there's kind of this fluid wave that's happening as you work on another person. And it just takes practice to be able to do that. We can watch that again. So it's heel, heel, finger, fingers, and you never lift the fingers off the belly. You always want contact with the belly if you're doing this. This is what I use as an assessment tool when I'm working on someone else, to kind of get a feel in general for what's going on in the belly. And here's another angle of being able to see how it can kind of move things. And see, I found a little spot right there. But it's this fluid wave-like motion. And next we have skin rolling. We're going to pinch the skin between the fingers and gently roll from one side to the other. It really doesn't matter which side you start or which direction you go, you're going to do it all. So it's probably easier if you do it from superior, meaning high up by a rib cage, to inferior, which is down to the pubic bone. So you're going to gather the skin between your fingers and walk it down as you roll the skin, right? And so we're just going to do all these rows. Again, it doesn't matter what order. I tell my patients to do this when they're sitting on the toilet. Put down your phone and roll your skin. This is going to break up that adipose tissue. It helps detoxify the skin, helps you assess any areas of congestion, stimulates the lymphatic system, and also decreases belly fat. So that adipose or fat tissue gets stuck in there. And if you can break it up every day, then your body can start to flush it out. So here's what it looks like. So rolling down. So I started down the center. Now I'm going down the sides. You can make up as many rows as you need, but that's kind of the idea, is just rolling the skin. And now that we've completed those techniques, we're going to open the abdomen with a meridian massage. So we're going to do two techniques here, one called the central channel and the other for the abdominal meridian. So the central channel, you're going to find the navel, you're going to find your xiphoid process, which is the tip of the sternum, and you're going to massage up and down in gentle circles. And we're just going to clear this initial channel, just kind of open things up. And open circulation from the heart to the abdomen, because we want all that blood. Remember, we were talking about that circulation. We want the blood from the heart and the lungs, the oxygen to make its way down to the mesentery, to the belly, to all the organs. And this is a way to do it, to clear the central channel. Now, I want you to think about pressure. It can be a very sensitive area, especially for people that have had gas or bloating. This tends to be an area that really people feel it a lot and often. To show that to you again while I talk here. And it's just a very common place that we feel congestion. We have a couple of different sphincters in there as well. We have multiple sphincters throughout our digestive tract. Our mouth is a sphincter, our anus is a sphincter, our eyes are also sphincters, but there's and those are voluntary sphincters. We have involuntary sphincters throughout the digestive tract, and this is a great massage, or this technique is a great part of the massage to be able to kind of open those sphincters up and get things flowing smoothly from top to bottom. And this is what it looks like on another person. So same thing, you're just massaging up and down with gentle circles all the way up to the sternum and back down to the navel. Once again, we want that heart energy going between well, we want it to go to the small intestine, but we also want that circulation of the blood vessels and the lymphatic system and the nerves to be communicating efficiently and effectively as well. Now let's talk about the abdominal meridians. So we're coming back to these pictures. Remember them? These are the meridians that we're going to use. So basically, we're just going to go up and down using that same technique. Finding the xiphoid process all the way up to the sternum. So we're going to massage gentle circles to all those spots. And you don't have to get all of the points exactly. We want to get the areas. We're more specific and worried about the points when we're doing acupuncture or acupressure. Right now, this massage, is a bit more general to just kind of open things up. So as you see, I just split my fingers and I'm going up and down the channels, all the way from rib cage, all the way down to pubic bone. And even though I'm going up and down in these directions, it really doesn't matter which way that you go, as long as you are following those channel pathways to just kind of open all that energy up. So this is a nice thing to do, just again, to get that lymphatic going, circulate any lines of congestion, and get that flow from the heart of all that blood. And everyone's got a different abdomen size. So some people are going to have more rows than others. And as long as you are doing what fits in your abdomen, it should be good and enough. So you don't want the pressure to be too deep, but you want to, be able to feel a little bit of movement happening. And see, I'm doing a transition here with the hand over hand as a way to kind of complete that set. Ooh, the large intestine. This is one of my favorite organs to work with. I just want you to take a look at this picture because I think it is a fantastic view of how far back it goes. Do you see how it cradles inside of the hip bones? Right? It's like right in there. So sometimes we can have different kinds of injuries that can kind of get that large intestine to adhere to the muscles. The psoas is usually right behind there. And I also want you to see that it's not just this square thing. It really has this dynamic arc back into the abdomen, and then it comes back forward, and then it arches back again toward the back of the body, and it comes back down through the hips, and then it arches back to the sacrum to then be the exit. And another really important thing I want you to notice is these corners here. And while this picture doesn't show it, these corners have attachments to the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is what is used for when the lungs expand. So literally when we take deep breaths, it is connected to the large intestine and it expands and pushes down and gives a nice internal massage to the large intestine, which helps with peristalsis, which is the movement of the fecal matter through the body. Excuse me, it is the contraction of the muscles that are helping what helps push the fecal matter through the body. So if we're taking shallow breaths and we're not breathing deeply, then we're not getting that internal massage to the large intestine that helps move the poop literally through our bodies. So these are just some other pictures to look at the dysfunction of the large intestine. This one right here, you can see is all the different shapes that the large intestine can take, even the small intestine, right? They can be off center. They don't always get held in that picture perfect place, especially if they're filled with fecal matter, if they're not emptying properly, if the gut is off, the microbiome isn't functioning properly, right? That can show up. Picture below, you can see it can be sometimes weighted more on one side. And here are the little tendons I was telling you about. Do you see how droopy it gets if it's not strong enough? And then, this picture, I like to think of, how it's like a drainage system, right? Everything needs to go from top down and out. And this picture right here highlights how far back the large intestine goes to the side. Then we can see some of the dysfunction in the large intestine here as well. So let's talk about two more Chi Nei Tsang techniques, opening the large intestine with the wave and knife hand. So the wave is hand over hand. It's a kneading technique that you can use. This is a version of what it looks like on your own belly. I'm doing it right over in the navel here, but you can move around the belly depending on the size and how your hands fit in your belly. Sometimes people have smaller hands and bigger bellies, or smaller bellies and bigger hands. So see what it is you can fit and play around with that. Again, this releases the congestion, circulates and moves stagnant energy in the abdomen, can also help move the bowels. This is what it looks like on another person. It's a little easier to do when you're doing it on someone else. There's more of a dynamic movement that you can have there. Next up, we have the knife hand. I like this one. We use the edge of the hand below the navel. So this is going across those large intestine endpoints. Remember, I was showing you how the large intestine is in the hip. This is a great one for constipation, if someone's feeling stuck, PMS symptoms. So we're just using the edge of your hand. It's called knife hand. I think it's related to martial arts, right? Where people do the karate chop, but it can be used as a defense technique in martial arts, but we can also use it on the belly. So it alleviates constipation, like I mentioned, gynecological issues, can also release the bladder. And here's what it looks doing it on your own belly. I'm doing it pretty quickly here, but you can slow it down and do it at a pace that feels good for you. And we come back to gentle circles, like we talked about earlier. Hand over hand is a way to just end, or we can do it to transition between techniques, as I talked about earlier. See how that feels on your body. Again, I don't have lotion here, but if you have coconut oil, it would be a smoother motion. So you see my hand over hand, gentle circles as well. So when you end this session, you want to connect to your dantian. We can do the transition of the cat paws or the gentle circles, but when we end, just like we did in the meditation, we're going to connect to your dantian. You're going to place one hand over the other, over the navel, take deep breaths, and rest. Again, in what we call the Wu Chi, place of nothingness. Let the massage do its work and just take a few moments to breathe, rest, feel your belly, and connect to yourself. So now you can go ahead and practice this on yourself, do a little free form. You don't have to do these in this order, but I do recommend that you practice them at least a few times. You can do it daily. You can email me if you have any questions. If you didn't understand something about these techniques or how to have a full session, you can come and take a session from me. I can help you find someone local in your area. And then for some of you, you may be getting CEUs for this, and there will be a survey and a questionnaire to get those CEUs. So let's review what we talked about today. We talked about how Chi Nei Tsang can bring an emotional awareness to your body, right? Because the organs not only process the emotions, but food as well. And so there is an interaction that happens there. We want to balance digestion by doing these techniques, by doing the meditation. We can help make that happen more effectively and efficiently. We're also promoting the circulation within the belly so we can get all of the food and the fluids to nourish our body, as well as get the stuff to get what does not serve us to eliminate from the body. And we're also creating a relationship with our body by doing the meditation and by doing this massage. If you want to learn more, I do teach Chi Nei Tsang live in-person workshops, both in the spring and the fall. Usually they're around 8 CEUs and outdoor. I am working on an online certification program. So if you'd like to certify in Chi Nei Tsang, I have an upcoming course that will be online shortly, and you can find them on my online meditations. There's a lot of digital content. I have different classes. I'm constantly putting out new content. I've recently written some ebooks I'll show you in a minute here. And then this is the guided meditation that we were talking about and that I led you through earlier today. So if you'd like to have that on your computer or device, you can get that here at this site. Like I mentioned, there's a few new books that I have written recently called Biohacking Brain Fog. It's an ebook that I co-authored with a friend. A lot of people post-COVID have been having a lot of brain fog, especially if you have digestive or emotional issues. Brain fog can be something that comes up too. So I think this could be a really helpful book. For now, it's free. Get it while you can. I think eventually we are going to put it up on Amazon, and that will cost some money. Same thing, we wrote a book on depression and anxiety, same co-author. We have suggestions on acupressure, herbs, nutrition, and other things to help navigate those emotional imbalances, which definitely ties into the Chi Nei Tsang. And then a third book that I wrote which is available on Amazon, called Herbs Immunity Health. And this one is about how to support your immune system. If you have any viral infections, we wrote this during the pandemic as a way to give people solutions for things that they can do at home with herbs and food, acupressure again, qigong, to be able to help their bodies and their immune system. And then this is a Chi Nei Tsang book by Master Montauk Chia that I recommend that you get if you want to learn more about this. And any of the digital content, you can get half off using Chi Nei Tsang 50 as the coupon code for these courses. And I have more products available on my website. Just a few more products that can help with the Chi Nei Tsang. This is called an AcuMat. It aligns with the different chakras, different crystal stones that are in it. It uses infrared technology that helps heal the body. So if you'd like to learn more, you can go online and look at that. This is also something that I recommend for everyone at the end of a Chi Nei Tsang session is a castor oil and heat pack. Find a brand that you like. You can go online. There's tons of castor oil. You can get it on Amazon. Use a piece of gauze, flannel, a washcloth. I've used paper towel. Drizzle the castor oil onto whatever you use, flip it down onto your belly, and then put a heat pack on top. And that will help the castor oil penetrate into the belly, and it can help soften things, especially if you feel sore after the massage, if you feel gas, bloating, congestion, diarrhea, constipation. Castor oil is good for all of those things. And like I mentioned, coconut oil is great for using on your belly. A recent study showed that it possesses antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties. So it soothes tight muscles, and it's great carrier oil if you choose to use essential oils with your massage. I like this massage tool. Sometimes patients feel like it's really awkward to be using their hands and the pressure. Again, you can find this on Amazon, and this helps get the right pressure, the right angle, can ease the discomfort of the angle of your wrists. And it can help you get to specific pressure points. Excuse me. And you can help hold it for longer. So thank you so much for listening to this talk, learning about discovering Chi Nei Tsang. If you'd like to come, I'm in San Diego, and I'm hoping to again travel to be able to teach this in different parts of the country, perhaps the world, in different continents. And you can always go onto my website and see where I'm teaching my next course. And if I'm in your area, I like to set up being able to treat people locally. So if you'd like to experience a Chi Nei Tsang, you can let me know, or I can help you find someone in your area. So don't forget to reach out, follow me on Instagram. I've been doing some Instagram lives talking about different health issues, often talking about Chi Nei Tsang. I'm on Facebook. You can always email me or go to my digital products below and stay in touch with me. So thank you once again for joining me on Discovering Chi Nei Tsang. I hope this was a helpful class for you and you learned a lot about the abdomen and some techniques that you can walk away with that will help you with your digestive health. Again, my name is Dr. Jazz. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Bye for now.